Hello everybody. In this video, we'll try to understand what happens when Rahu is in the Bharani nakshatra. So Bharani is the first Venusian nakshatra, and it is of course the second nakshatra in the whole nakshatra system of 27 nakshatras. So if you observe a Bharani nakshatra energy, the kind of nature it has is basically ruled by Yama. The deity is it's Yama, and it is basically governed by the planetary, means the planetary ruler of this particular nakshatra is Venus. So when you talk about Bharani nakshatra, you talk about some kind of severe transformation. You always talk about transformation. That is the nature of Bharani. It's something like, so two extremes you talk about. Heavy karmic responsibilities. Heavy. Very, very heavy. And it has to be done, kind of responsibilities you talk about. And of course, Bharani is very much famous for sexual energy and the creative power it has. And also Bharani means the ethical dilemmas in your life, the kind of moral tests that you go through in your life. And one word everybody says about Bharani's energy, that is endurance through suffering. The kind of endurance you show when you're suffering, that is Bharani. The fundamental nature of Bharani is that the kind of endurance that you show through your suffering. There's a kind of controlled energy, a very, very controlled, compact, constrained, limitations. The energy is in limitations, but the inner idea of this one is ultimately it would lead to some kind of creation. So the symbolism of this nakshatra is mother's womb. It's womb basically. It's not only mother's womb, it can be the womb that that was there when the whole universe was created. So it is a cause of life creation. If you talk about the creation of the universe, even the universe was created because of the endurance of Bharani, I would say, right? So the kind of endurance that the whole universe showed before it created, that was the fundamental Bharani energy, I would say. So in simple terms, I want to tell you, it has a lot of creative power. It has a very, very severe transformation energy. It has endurance energy through suffering. It suffers, the energy suffers, the whole thing suffers, but still it shows some kind of endurance, right? And people with this strong Bharani, energy, they go to some kind of extreme life transformations. That's what everybody says. The life transformations are extreme. Is wherever you go in Vedic literature, astrology literature, they always say it's always about extreme life transformations. And that is Bharani energy, right? So it's not a simple energy. It's the carrying some kind of heavy karmic responsibilities. See, somebody, let us say, instead of saying in practical terms, I would try to go to some kind of hypothetical world. Let us say a kind of energy was created, and the energy was very much responsible to create universe. But the energy has to create the universe. There's no other go. It has to create Earth, it has to create the solar system, it has to create everything. Not only the solar system that you're seeing, not only the planet, some planet you're seeing some crores and crores of miles of light years away, or not only that, the entire universe. The energy was responsible for that, and the energy was given that responsibility, and it has to do that responsibility. It's a heavy karmic responsibility, right? So Bharani is very much famous for that representation, and also, of course, so it's Bharani is famous for sexual energy and creation. It's also very, so that much of responsibility is given to some energy, and it's a kind of moral test for that energy. It's a kind of ethical dilemma for that energy, I would say, and it has to suffer till it create the whole universe. The energy has to suffer, and it has to show some kind of endurance. So what is the nature of Rahu here? Rahu is sitting in Bharani. So how Rahu is basically, see, Rahu represents some kind of obsession. Rahu represents some kind of desires. It's a foreign element basically. It has some foreign connection. It has some kind of unusual experiences. And Rahu can represent sudden rise and fall in life. And of course, it's very much famous for amplification. It's very much famous for any kind of taboo breaking, any kind of traditional or tradition breaking, I would say. So Rahu also intensifies wherever it touches, wherever it sits. So when Rahu enters, or when Rahu is in Bharani nakshatra, it amplifies Venusian desires, it amplifies all the karmic tests that are given by this Bharani energy, right? So, extreme desire, karmic consequences. See, when the universe was created, before it was created, so there was a severe transformation happening, and there was a very highly intensified desire in that energy, that it had to create the universe, right? So there was a kind of extreme desire in that energy. That's Bharani only. And once the universe is created, of course, when you're trying to do something, and that creation of the universe would have some kind of karmic consequences. So the natives having Rahu in the Bharani nakshatra, these natives usually experience some kind of intense emotional and moral experiences in life, right? So morality, your morality would be questioned by somebody in your life. Of course, it's a very strong sensual position, sensual placement, and you have some kind of fascination with taboo subjects, and you are very rebellious, and your rebellion is against some moral systems, and you have some kind of deep psychological transformation. That's the fundamental thing when you see Rahu in Bharani. This is the first thing is the kind of sensuality you have. It's very strong, and I would also tell you your moral experiences in your life. Somebody is questioning your morality, right? This is all is because of this Rahu in Bharani only, not because of any other placements in your horoscope. So they often live very intense lives compared to others. That's what I see. Very intense lives. Because Rahu in Bharani is not a simple life. Very intense. So you may ask me what kind of life patterns you observed when you have when you have seen these people. The first thing is moral tests in life, right? So even if there is a powerful politician with this placement, you can clearly observe his situation in his life or something related to power versus responsibility, right? With your responsibility, the responsibility given to you is one thing and you have to complete that responsibility. But if you're fulfilling that responsibility, you may lose power. So now it is a test for you. It's a moral test for you. You have to whether you're going to fulfill that responsibility or you're trying to get your power. Which one you want to do? If you finish that responsibility, yes, morally you will be good, but you may lose power. But if you're not finishing that responsibility, morally you are weak, and you also can come to know that, but you may gain power. So which one you want to choose, right? And then another pattern I can see is with respect to morality, it's a pleasure versus discipline, I would say, right? If you are very much disciplined, yes, morally you are going to be very good, but you are going to lose your pleasure in your life. And the kind of pleasure you're losing is not a simple pleasure. It can happen in everybody's life, right? We have a situation like pleasure versus discipline, but that situation in our lives is a very kind of normal situation. The kind of pleasure that we may get is something, a normal pleasure, if we sacrifice discipline. So we may go with discipline only. Let me be very much disciplined. The pleasure I am going to get at the cost of my discipline is very, very minimal, so I don't want to take the risk here. I don't want that pleasure at all. I want the discipline. But these people may have a situation like something like, the pleasure that these people may get when they sacrifice the discipline is much more bigger than you can imagine. Such kind of pleasure these people may get sometimes when they sacrifice discipline. So they get a morality test now, right? These morality tests are this pattern is very much present in these people's life, right? So kind of ethical crossroads, I would say. And then the secret love pattern is another thing, and also unusual relationships. Rahu in Bharani people, I don't want to say all this because things sometimes they look very weird, right? So unusual relationships, that's Rahu in Bharani is unusual relationships. Or as per Vedic astrology, I've seen some people with some good dignity of seventh lord, or other good placements with respect to marriage, but just because of Rahu in Bharani nakshatra, they have some kind of situations in their life which would lead to kind of separation, separation with spouse. So it can be because of their multiple relationships or kind of obsessive attraction, because Rahu amplifies this Venusian energy, right? And love in their life is something like it's karmic, it's transformative for them. It's something like love changes their life. Before love relationship, the person is one, it's someone, but after the love relationship, the person is somebody else. Very, very severe transformation. This transformation is very, very severe. It's a life-changing transformation. And the secret love affairs, unusual relationships. This is a pattern I see from this. And breaking social rules, kind of, if their 10th lord is also supporting some kind of unconventional energy, yes, they're always ready for some kind of unconventional career, some kind of unusual lifestyle, or some kind of rebellious behavior, right? And the kind of attraction they have to forbidden things is unusual, right? So this is what I see from this. It's not a normal or general energy, whether it can be desire or pleasure or some kind of karmic intensity, the karmic transformation. It's a transformational nakshatra basically. Bharani is transformational nakshatra. So because of this love pattern, because of this morality test, the over desire, extreme desire, these are all can give them some kind of emotional crisis in their life, kind of betrayal. And it's an intense psychological change. That's what I can see because of all this morality test, or multiple relationships, or unusual relationships, right? So, of course, these are all hardships that they get, but after hardships, everybody becomes strong, right? Stronger than before. That is the advantage, of course. And one important thing that I have to mention when we are discussing this Bharani, Rahu in Bharani, that too is a powerful sexual and creative energy. And here Venus is ruling Bharani and Rahu magnifies the sensuality. So that can give very good artistic talent, that's for sure, and strong attraction energy, the kind of, we say, charisma, right? Or charisma or charisma, whatever. So basically strong attraction energy they have. And so they are generally good for creative professions. But if this particular energy is not controlled, if it is watched by some Saturn or Mars, especially Mars, if it is watched by, then the kind of addiction or the kind of relationship instability, or pleasure seeking, excessive pleasure seekingness that they have is a bit uncontrolled. So some control is needed in this particular energy when it is watched by some planet like Mars or Saturn. And the career patterns is something like, as you know, it's Bharani is if this particular Rahu in Bharani is well balanced, they can do very good crisis management. They can be good at law or criminal justice. They can be very, very good at entertainment industry and occult sciences as well, right? And psychology as well. So this is what I see. And when you talk about Bharani, we have to talk about spirituality. By default, whether they believe in God or whether they believe in spirituality or not, whether they believe in religion or not, it doesn't matter because they are rebellious by nature. But they have some spiritual evolution inbuilt in them, right? No need of any gurus for them, I would say that, right? And by default, they have the energy of spiritual healing. See, the spiritual healing that other nakshatras or other placements is something like they learnt it from somewhere and finally they practiced it and they have some kind of experiences in their life or something like that, and then they become a very good spiritual healers. That's what happened. That's what you can see happening with other placements. But this particular placement is the spiritual healing capacity is inbuilt, I would say, kind of different spiritual healing energy they have. That's what I can say. But you can feel it when you really come across this kind of people. Yes, these people, this kind of person, this person has something different healing capacity. His healing capacity is somewhere, he is inbuilt with this energy. You can feel it. And reformations, they like reformation. They are the reformers inbuilt. That's that. And they are the protectors of justice also, because Yama is the Lord here for Bharani, and so they are protectors of justice, and they are the guides for others also, right? They have this energy. They are the guides for others. So especially after some part of their life, they know how to manage crisis. They are very good at crisis management after some part of their life, right? So this is what I can clearly see. They are very fearless. Their fearless leadership they have. They are powerful artists. They are transformative healers. They are the social reformers. Kind of highly intensified energy, extreme energy. Even Bharani itself has extreme energy, and then when Rahu is joining it, this whole thing is becoming a blast, right? And the karmic lessons that they learn also with Bharani, with a simple planet sitting in Bharani itself, is a kind of deep karmic lesson. When Rahu is sitting in Bharani, it's a very big, deep karmic lesson. So, see, whether I want to tell you one simple thing for these people, right? If you're watching this video and if you have this placement in your horoscope, see, whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in religion or not, practice some mantras and ground your energy. Otherwise, the kind of transformations that you may go through in your life, you should have some backbone at that time, right? You should have some kind of control in your life. So that control is given by these mantras, these chanting, this kind of, listening to the gurus. Even though you are not interested in listening to the gurus, please, right? Religious gurus I am talking about. So follow it, because in your difficult times, at least these can act as your support. So perform remedies, obviously. Can chant Hanuman Chalisa, you can do Rudrabhisheka, right? So otherwise there's a kind of very, very explosive energy, that's what I can say. And if this particular energy goes wrong, automatically, very easily, these people can see some kind of legal problems in their life, because it's very extreme energy. Even these people are in some power, they misuse that power very easily. The control is very much important with this energy, because Rahu is somewhere going out of control. Even though Bharani at least has some kind of control, not at least, it has some kind of good control also, Bharani, but when Rahu is sitting in it is going a bit out of control. So that may lead to some kind of addiction, legal problems, some kind of sexual scandals, or power misuse, or kind of emotional chaos, right? So Rahu, basically this Rahu is magnifying that Venus impulses, the Bharani impulses here. So this is the whole energy I can see with this, but very, very explosive energy. If you're able to balance it, right? If you're able to understand yourself having this particular energy, and if you're able to control this energy, you would see a very, very great leader in you, right? So thanks for watching this video.